Time to shine today. Varsity Squad, it is Scott Ferguson, and I have my long-awaited interview with my really good friend, Tanya Oliver. She has these mental health through fitness, and then she has kind of a subsidiary to that, which is going to be called Best Version of Me, or BVOM. All her information is going to be in the show notes. Tanya is somebody that I respect a ton. She's all about herself, with helping herself level up, but then she's also a go-giver. She gives till it hurts so good, like we like to say here at Time to Shine Today. She came from a lineage of addicts. She struggled with addiction, mental health, and suicidal thoughts. She was a liability to herself and others until she chose differently. For the last 17 years, she's generated all of her energy on learning, creating, and teaching. What she needed to liberate herself from her own self-imprisonment is the BVOM, which I cannot wait to dig in, and look at that smile over there. So the BVOM Academy was born. She created it and wanted a course geared towards teaching others how to become mentally, physically, nutritionally, and strong as fuck. Yeah. So they can look, feel, and be their best self. And Tanya, thank you so much. It's been a long time coming. I can't contain my excitement. You're here. So if you could you please be so kind as to introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today Squad? But first, what's your favorite color and why?
My favorite color, for those of you who cannot see me, is red.
If you can see her, you can see she's got this beautiful red hair. She's a beautiful woman. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel, she's fantastic. So red it is. And why red?
I feel like, your hair, your nails, colors are just an expression of what you want to project out into the world. And I feel like red is just like a fierce, fiery, let's go, like the way that I feel with red. So I just feel like it's like a fierceness, and there's just so much that like energy that I want to project out. So I just feel like it's a nice way to like not be obnoxious, but still be loud with self-expression.
Loud and proud with that self-expression.
Yeah.
I love it. Some people will take red as like, oh, she's got a red streak and she's aggressive and stuff like that. But that is 100,000 trillion% not my friend Tanya. So Tanya, let's get to the origins. I'm sure you have that red streak if you need to be. I can too. But you struggled with a lot of different things. You said kind of mental health, addiction, suicidal thoughts. Can we get into origins on that, how you parlayed that up into being a go-giver and wanting to help others level up?
Absolutely, yeah. And thank you for having me on the show. I'm so grateful to be here. And for everybody listening, I really appreciate your time. I feel that we all have our own personal stories, but specifically to your question, addiction is just an attachment to something to help us get through an intense triggered emotion. Usually we all crave some form of a relief through like pain. And what we're taught through early childhood is, either with food or alcohol or drugs or whatever substance of choice to help numb us, to give us that stimulation that we crave. And we just need to learn how to create a new toolbox. So everything's about learning new tools, which I had to learn on my own because I didn't get it through, early childhood development. And, sports, I was lucky to get into sports. I played ice hockey for 9 years, and that really helped keep me afloat. It always was my go-to. So I would, have a fall and then I'd get back up because I had that tool to help me generate my energy and to keep me eventually to get me out of the dark times, and also through personal training and strength training. So that's one of many tools that was very, helpful with getting me out of the drowning waters.
How did you get into ice hockey? Just curious. I'm from Michigan. It's huge there.
Yeah.
In Florida, I'm not saying it's not, because there's a lot, but you're kind of a native here to South Florida, right?
I am a native.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, in full, transparency here, we're basically neighbors. Well, 50 miles away or 40 miles away, but we're neighbors here in South Florida. But why ice hockey?
I have identical twin brothers, and I always wanted to be better than them. So I was the only girl in the family, and my sister's way, way younger. So growing up, my brothers are 2 years younger than me, and I just always was, craving attention from my parents. So whatever they did, I wanted to do and be better at. I feel like I always had to prove myself. And, a lot of that can stem from insecurity and not getting the proper attention. They were more troublemakers. So I had to figure out how to get my own attention. So I got into that. I tried a whole bunch of different sports growing up, and I quit all of them. I grew up a heavier kid, and I just couldn't find anything that I could stick with. I thought there was something wrong with me. Finally, I was like, please just give me a chance to play. They played, and then I played it, and I loved it. I love my body just loved the movement pattern.
Right. And you're built, if you look at her Instagram or whatnot, she's built like a brick. So you can see the hockey really paid off, powerful legs and whatnot. So was there somebody, because I see suicidal thoughts, and a lot of my listeners know that, my little brother took his life in 2009, and he really didn't have anybody to really turn to. Did you have somebody that showed up in your life or that you sought out to help you get over some of these addiction hurdles, mental health hurdles, suicidal thoughts?
I think that's a great question. Unfortunately, I didn't. I did not have that. Like I said, I found any type of a light or a love or a passion will help you change your mind. And I think that I never went into the actual, the thoughts were there, but then I was like, well, what if I chose to live, really live, not just be alive, but live? What if I chose to incorporate something that made me feel good today, that made me feel like I wanted to show up in my life today? And then what really, really helped me, Scott, was being of service to others. When you help others, you create an innate fulfillment, your heart feels full. So the more that I started, I'm like, wait a second, okay, so I just helped that person. Wow, I feel really good. What if I help somebody else? And then that gives you purpose in life. You can make all this money, you can be successful on the outside, and there's so many people that I work with. I work with anywhere from pro athletes to celebrities who are, in treatment centers, and just a whole span of top CEOs, multi-billionaires, and it's they still have that emptiness. I'm like, well, are you doing any service work? No. So there's a common thread. So when we're of service to others, that fills our soul and gives us purpose. Wow. So I started, that's really what, it happened kind of by accident. And then I was like, it kind of ended up being you build that momentum. And I was like, oh, I have a purpose. It's here to be of service.
So, yeah, you did say light, love, or passion that can help change your mind. So is that what showed up is you started saying, okay, I'm going to give and help, and that really kind of pulled you out of, lack of a better term, the doldrums that you were kind of going through? Is that what really helped, lighten your path?
I mean, it comes in layers. So I think the first thing I created a band, and it said, just feel good today. And a lot of people, when they're coming out of addiction and stuff like that, they just focus on today. Because when you're living in the past, a lot of people are in a dark space of depression. When people are living in the future, they have a lot of anxiety and worry. But when you learn to really be present and just focus on today, it gives you peace of mind. The more peace of mind you can build on, the more you find happiness and joy. So it definitely came in layer. And then also my belief system in God, and the finding just things to look forward to in my day and to feel good about, and to bring that fulfillment. So, but definitely having that path, finding things that make you feel good and happy and passion.
Love that. Love it. So, Tanya, what makes a great coach then?
Somebody who actually cares about people, continuing growth and education, paying attention to detail, which we had this conversation earlier about. It's the small things. I feel like actually taking care and constantly growing, the becoming. A lot of people become great, and then they stop growing. Sure. And they stop caring. So it's just constant evolution and growth, paying attention to people, caring, mastering your craft. I mean, there's so many components. Staying in your lane, referring out, building a solid network of people in a community. There's a lot of things.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, we help others too.
Because sometimes you're not the right horse for the course for a coach. So you might have another connection, like we have at Time to Shine today. We're a connection carousel, if you will, to be able to put the right person with the right needs. So
absolutely.
If I'm out networking then, and we're allowed to do it a little bit here in South Florida, in press and flash, meeting people, what am I hearing when I'm talking to somebody that would be a good prospect, contact, connection, or referral for Tanya or through BVOM?
Yeah, I mean, I would feel anybody who, so I broke it down. I don't know how I listen to a lot of your podcasts and stuff, but it comes down to a really deep thread, and it might sound weird to people who aren't, but that's fine because they're not the right fit for me. Heavy empaths, people that feel really hard because a lot of them don't know how to generate their energy, and they do end up getting themselves into spaces they don't necessarily want to be in. People who maybe have had issues with their root chakra, so they don't have they need to work on their inner child, like inner child work. People that haven't really built that foundation and they're still seeking how to really take care of that need. And then anyone who really just wants to look, feel, and show up in their business and life as their best self, their most authentic best self.
I was waiting for that. I knew that you were going to say that.
But there's that little inner thread, because I'll refer out to people. Not
Sure.
Everybody who wants to look good is going to be in my realm.
Right. Absolutely. Like we say here again, it's the right horse for the course. I mean, it's got to match up. So
yeah,
if you're bringing somebody in and you're in the discovery period, what's the secret sauce then that you use to help them find their blind spots? You find out you're a fit, you're working forward. What's the secret sauce for that?
There's a lot of people, surprisingly, Scott, that say they want to change and they don't. So within a couple minutes of a conversation, I can pinpoint. This is what I mean about empaths. Like, you have to combine your intuition with also words, because a word means nothing without the energy behind it. I'm very, very big on being intentional, deliberate, and purposeful for what we say and what we do. And so if I can tell right away that some people either aren't ready for change, they're scared of change, or they really don't want to change and they're there for the wrong reason. So when I ask certain questions, I'm able to tell right away. So you really wholeheartedly from your soul have to truly want to change and be able to go through the pain in order to find that liberation and freedom and growth.
Love it. I love that. So if you listen to a couple of my shows, which I really appreciate that you've did.
Yeah.
So is there, when you're starting to work with somebody, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do as you're getting started?
It's always a dialogue. I heavily believe in dialogues and not monologues. So typically the questions kind of come about within it. I think the main question, if somebody were to ask, is usually everybody wants to hear why I'm qualified to give them that information. So they want to hear my story, usually, because the biggest thing, as you know, Scott, coaching people, trust is of the highest value. If somebody's not going to trust you, they're not going to go all in. And with this type of work of self-development, and really anything, you have to really wholeheartedly trust your coach, because if the person hasn't been able to get the change that they want or get to that level up, like you say, that they want to get to, they haven't yet developed trust within themselves. So if you don't trust yourself, at least trust that you've made the right decision to hire the right person. And that's where you got to kind of gain that combination of like your gut instinct with like also logic or reasoning or whatever you need to do.
Love that. Love that. Like you gotta, once you get started, and my clients know, is that there's protocol and there's the process. I mean, we kind of get through the discovery and it's just like, okay, you got to trust me because I'm going to get there. Just like me, I have two coaches, a mindset coach and basically a life coach. And I put all of my trust in them, because they know how to push my buttons. They know how to, make me tick. So that's fantastic. You said that. So, then about the DeLorean and getting in with Marty McFly. And let's go back to the 22-year-old Tanya. And what kind of knowledge nuggets are you going to drop on her to help her maybe shorten the learning curve, level up at that age?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I've had that I would say to my 22-year-old self is, one of my mentors with speaking is Lisa Nichols. And she said something so profound the other day. She said, you have to be willing to die, like your ideas, your thought process, to let those go. In yoga, we call that a segment of like Shavasana, where a side of you dies so that you can have a reawakening and a rebirth. And that's where we want to hold on to thoughts, ideas, and patterns through attachment. We can even be addicted to old emotions and patterns. So be okay with allowing certain things to die so that you can really step into your full potential.
I love that. That is fantastic.
I give credit where credit's due. Lisa Nichols said that, and she's my speaking, mentor. So
when that is said with the savasana through yoga, which, I practice Ashtanga, it's always at the end of my practice.
Yes.
So that's on my back. I call it corpse pose.
Yeah,
It's
same
savasana.
concept. Yeah.
So that's true, because you're letting a part of yourself die so you can rebirth into leveling up better, using my terminology a little bit, right? That's strong. That is solid.
And if you think about the butterfly analogy, think about it. The caterpillar has to die to become a butterfly.
Wow.
Transformation, so I always look for the little sparrows. I always, joke around with people like, oh, there's my spirit animal. It's the butterfly, ascension. So how do we truly ascend? There are segments we have to truly let go of. Letting go is also death, disattachment, all that stuff. Wow. It sounds intense, but it's true.
That's fantastic. So Tanya, tell us something that people misunderstand about you the most.
Misunderstanding. I kind of also let that go too, because there's, as you know, I'm sure, or a lot of people listening, is judgment is a huge indication. So we're constantly being judged all the time. Mm-hmm. Right. So getting back to your question on that, I feel that because of my hair color, or the way that I present myself, or maybe my age, when I go into corporate speaking or building out, doing overhauls with corporations and their wellness program, or I come into say an outpatient program, you have to just, trust takes time. So I think the biggest thing is to not get caught up in what people think about me.
I love that you said that, because, we live here at Time to Shine today with the duality. One, I don't as long as I have not wronged anybody, disrespected anybody, and I tell my clients this too, as long as you don't wrong, disrespect, or hurt them, I don't give a shit what you think about me. I could care less. With the duality of that is I'm going to help as many people along the way as possible.
You just have to stay focused on that. Why am I here? Why am I showing up? And just keep all your energy geared towards that, because that was something that held me back for so long. And I know that's something that you usually ask in here. What's something that holds you back? And for many years, I was so caught up in generating my energy on saying the right thing or caring about what people thought. And it was taking away from what I'm here to do.
Love it.
And however people interpret it, they interpret it. But the few people, or the many people that I help, however many it is, that's what I'm here for. So that's really what matters.
I love it. So what's the BI? You've did a lot in your young life. So what's the BIG thing that you really want to accomplish?
So this is another thing that I'm going to share, that where it comes into the becoming. There's never an end. And the biggest thing right now that I'm stepping into, this version of myself that I'm stepping into, is I see international speaker, best-selling author. So right now I'm in the process stages. I'm writing. I write every week, and it's going to be a bestseller. There I can hit many people. And also in October, I'll be speaking for a big expo for human resources to do more, incorporate the BVOM, which is the best version of the academy, into companies and corporations, where that covers food, exercise, and overall self-care, life skills, habit, behavioral reframing. So
love it.
That's the becoming.
I love it that you take the inch by inch, it's a cinch, analogy that we use here. And, by the yard, it's hard. You're taking it as it comes, but you're taking it.
Scott, you're like a rapper.
So
you're spitting all these rhymes and raps.
We gotta go. We gotta rock and roll. Trust me. My next book is called The Regurgitation, and all I am is regurgitating everything I've learned from people like you and other people. So but it goes back. Tony Robbins regurgitates Jim Rohn, regurgitates Earl Nightingale, all the way back to Marcus Aurelius. So
isn't that what we all do anyway?
We all do. We just I put my Fergie spin on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
chicka
what? So how do you want your dash remembered then? That little line between your incarnation date and your expiration date. How there's another rhyme. Anyways, how do you want that remembered? Your epitaph, your legacy?
That I made some form of an imprint in the world. Gave somebody hope, made some shifts, made somebody a better parent because they have the right tools. I'm just a tool provider. I give people new tools to live a better life, so that, because when you feel better about yourself, you're going to project that energy. When if you feel good, you're going to do good. And, people who are unhappy do unhappy things. People that are sad create more sadness. So the more that somebody can take full responsibility with self, because I'm a self-care coach, first ownership, I'm responsible for everything in my life and everybody that I've attracted into my life. And therefore, you know, so making some form of a little dent that I made this world better before I left.
Wow, that's solid. Taking responsibility. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's 3 things that Tanya can't live without?
Food, water, and sleep.
So how important sleep to you?
Very, very important. Sleep. I write newsletters every Monday at 8 p.m.
I'm not getting these. I got to get on that. I got to get on board with this.
And I wrote a correlation between mental health, because Old Company's new model is mental health through fitness, which I'll be starting my podcast very soon. It's a little bit delayed because of some things, but it's coming. So pretty much, I just forgot what we were talking about.
Sleep. Sleep. Like,
sleep. I'm going on this tangent, down this rabbit hole. There's so much I want to talk about. So it really impacts everything. Sleep, when I work with somebody, it's the first thing that we start about, developing a night routine so you have better quality sleep so that you can function, operate. It affects everything. It really affects our mental health. It really, really does. So
I prep my sleep like I do my workout. Like
it's when the body recovers. It's when the body recovers, repairs, restores. We're able to reprogram our subconscious. I mean, there's so many things that happen in sleep.
Right.
It's like taking a dead phone. Your phone is dead. What are you going to do with the dead phone? And you plug your phone into the charger. Your sleep is your charger.
Love it. Love it. So what is Tanya's definition of a life well lived?
Fulfillment, happiness, joy.
Love it. Beautiful. So
and that could mean different things to different people.
It does.
It
does.
Like we talked about exercise the other day, right? What makes my body feel good you might be like, this is boring. This is boring. I'm not doing this, But then for me, I'll go salsa dancing or rollerblading, and somebody's like, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go do, kickboxing or, whatever fulfills you.
We'll have that salsa dance off. I'm ready to rock, girlfriend.
Let's go. I got my mask.
So we're going to, as we wind things down here a little bit, Tanya, we got a leveling up lightning round. So we got 5 or 6 questions. You got 5 seconds to answer them. No explanations. You ready to rock?
Okay, so just a quick answer, like a bam.
Bam. No explanation.
Like paintball.
That's it. Bam, bam.
Okay.
What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Just do it.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Exercise.
Love it. So, not the book you're reading now, not the book you're writing, not the flavor of the month. What's that one book? If I'm in the doldrums and you're like, Fergie, read this. It'll level you up. Like mine's The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews or The Go-Giver by Bob Berg. But what's that book?
Conversations with God.
Love it. Okay. I don't know who writes it. Do you know?
There's 3 people in dialogue. I have it on audiobook. I'll pick it up. But it's Neil Donald Walsh.
Okay.
Read by Edward Ashner and Ellen or something. It's not anything that you would think about. It's not religion. It's just about understanding, especially if you're interested in developing that relationship with your highest self.
Got it. Yeah. I'll put that in the show notes, folks. What's your most commonly used emoji?
The purple heart.
The purple heart.
Because I love people. I'm always sending purple hearts. Or the salsa dancing one.
Okay. All right.
I send a little salsa dance. You've probably gotten a couple.
I've gotten a couple from you. All right. So physically, not mentally, wisdom-wise, but physically, what age would you stay if you could for the rest of your life?
I love aging.
Okay. Fair enough. So Hollywood or sports star? Hollywood superstar sports or a sports star?
Whatever gains the most traffic.
I'm a sports star guy. I'll never forget Hollywood. Favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time and or money to?
Boys and Girls Club.
Beautiful. And last question, what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s. I'm an 80s baby.
Big hair, don't care. Love that. Grew up in the 80s myself. Tanya, how can we find you?
Right now, everything's being rebuilt. So I would say just email me till everything's up and remodeled. We're going
Okay.
under construction. So it's Tanya at MHTF. I'm sorry. Yeah. Mental health through fitness wellness.com. So
Gotcha.
mhtfwellness.com.
Love
Tanya
it.
at.
I will put all that all in the show notes. Tanya, leave us with one last knowledge nugget you want us to take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Just feel good today.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
Stay
so simple,
present, stay
though.
mindful. You know,
Yeah, it got me through so much, and I will always go back to that. It's just feel good today. That's it.
you know, and squad, Tanya has remind us of a lot of things. I mean, I have a boatload of notes from my good friend here that I'm going to use moving forward with some of my sessions. But you know, she reminds us to live life with a passion and to help others do the same, to help others create an innate fulfillment and a full heart. You know, focus on today, build happiness and joy. And I'm going to go back to inch by inch as a cinch. You don't have to have it all at once. You know, live today. That's what she said. Be happy today. Okay, she's a coach that cares. She's a coach for growth and coach for communication. She's intentional, deliberate, and purposeful with her words, which you could see that as it came out. She reminds us that, you know, each day kind of like a part of us will die, but it's just setting the stage for a rebirth into something great. So stay present, stay connected, and always level up and progress. So she reminds us also to take responsibility. And we at Time to Shine Today always say the actual meaning of the word is in the word responsibility, which is the ability to respond. So just take responsibility for all your actions and live your life with fulfillment, happiness, and joy. And that's what my good friend Tanya does. And I'm so happy and humbled that you came on. You're leveling up your health, you level up your wealth. And I am so grateful for you. You're part of our Time to Shine Today Varsity Squad. You can't go anywhere.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Talk soon, Tanya.
Bye.